Andrew Bagley, Macoupin County, and now look for the Bagley Farms Meat Market in Edwardsville open this week. Andrew promised to keep us up to date on how things are going there. We wish them the very best of luck. This is the RFD Livestock Report. Good day to you. Welcome to RFD Illinois. I'm Rita Frazier.
I'm DeLoss Yankee. Hello there.
Hello there to you.
I have a question for you.
Make it easy.
No, this isn't easy at all, actually. I don't think.
I know what this is going to be. It's food related.
No. I've seen two different events coming up. One is for my son, church event.
Okay.
In which the dress-up theme is 90s. My question is, what in the world does that mean? What does that 90s? Even entail?
Well, I think in the early 90s, we still had the kind of the big high bangs.
Okay.
That was going on. Let's see here. Because I graduated high school in the 80s. So in the 90s, I was starting work. Always seemed to be wearing the wrong thing. So I'm not sure I'm the person to ask.
I wonder about that. I'm just trying to think, because I've been thinking the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Weitzel rolled his jeans all the time. He had real nice jeans, and he always rolled the.
I think they were still doing that in the 90s.
Huh.
Yeah.
But I was thinking collars up and big hair, but that was 80s. That was 80s stuff.
That's
too. I don't know what 90s even mean.
That's a toughie. Well, where were you in the 90s?
Early 90s was in college, and mid to late 90s was trying to
and he was
work
clean
my way
cut,
through
folks.
this.
Very clean cut, this guy. You wouldn't think so, but
my best. Yeah.
You were. Well, interesting. What was the other thing?
No, that was it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Well, we certainly have a lot of updates from the river. Doug Jenkins, WBGZ, will have Calhoun County updates, and you will have an update on the industrial hemp situation.
That's right. A lot of applications have been making their way in.
Markets and weather also to come. Stay with us.
Farm Week and Partners Magazine editor Chris Anderson connects rural routes for you. Chris shares her 4 decades of riding expertise by making sure each edition delivers the best information. Here's a bit about her rural roots.
I was raised on a farm in Champaign County growing corn, soybeans, popcorn, pumpkins, and poultry. My top priority is to inform, educate, and even entertain Farm Bureau members.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
Does the warmer weather have you itching for a weekend getaway? Take your Illinois Farm Bureau membership savings with you.
Farm Bureau members can save up to 20% at choice hotels, including favorites like Comfort Suites, Sleep Inn, Quality Inn and Suites, with even more to choose from.
Call 800-258-2847 or visit the Choice Hotels website to search all the hotels at once and to make advance reservations.
Contact your local county farm bureau for your discount code number.
Welcome back to RFD Illinois. I'm DeLoss Yankee. Quickly heading to mid-May, and still a lot of planting delays as farmers deal with more and more wet weather, like John Bartman on the Crop Watchers 2.0 team. He's up in McHenry County. Had rain last week, rain over the weekend, and was certainly expecting more rain this week.
We're supposed to get up to another 2 inches here in northern Illinois. Last week, I know there were some folks, State Route 47 and 38, they received over 5-6 inches of rain. People are already talking about replanting the corn, those that got in early. So it's not fun up here.
John Bartman in northern Illinois in McHenry County. Meanwhile, as you move to McDonough County, Colby Hunt had 3.5 inches of rain last week, not to mention what they received this week. But before that, get into late April, he actually got 60% of the corn planted before the rains came in.
It's a little nerve-wracking having it in with these cold rains we've had, but I really think it'll be okay in the end. We were able to get some soybeans in the ground, too, probably about 20% of those. So it's an okay start. And, yeah, we'll just see what happens. Nothing we can do about the weather, so we'll just sit back and make the best of it.
Colby Hunt in McDonough County. He and John Bartman comprise part of the Farm Week Crop Watcher 2.0 team. You can follow their progress, pictures and videos included at farmweeknow.com. Rita will have quite a bit about the high water, especially as it relates in Calhoun County. The Mississippi and Illinois waterways may not fully reopen for several more weeks, according to an official with the Waterways Council Trade Group. Our Washington correspondent Matt Kay reports.
Waterways Council Senior Vice President Deborah Calhoun says high water across the Mississippi, Missouri, and Illinois rivers will take some time yet to recede and operations to return to normal.
It looks like it could be until the beginning of June before operations begin to normalize. I wouldn't expect it to be the entire month of June.
The Coast Guard on Friday shut down a 5-mile stretch of the Mississippi River in St. Louis, a major grain loading and transit point on the chief commercial artery for Midwest farmers and others. Calhoun says locks on the Illinois River are also shuttered.
It's hard to say exactly when we'll see the Illinois reopened as well. Could be around the same time frame. So we're looking, I believe, at the beginning of June before we see any normalization of these commodities moving.
AccuWeather estimates in a Washington Post report $12 billion in upper Midwest flood damage to crops, livestock, homes, and businesses. The 2,300-mile-plus Mississippi carried nearly $2 billion in soybeans, corn, coal, crude oil, fertilizer, and more last year. Calhoun.
This is the most cost-competitive way for the American family farmer to get their products to market. So when there's a shutdown, either due to drought or flooding or something related to the lock and dam infrastructure itself, it has the largest impact around this time of year on the agriculture industry.
On both grain shipments going downriver, and Calhoun says on inputs like fertilizer that move upriver. For the RFD Radio Network, Matt Kay on Capitol Hill.
Later today on RFD Today, we will visit with Paul Rohde at the Waterways Council. We'll get more into issues on the rivers and also long-term talks about the health of locks and dams in the system. Yesterday on the program, we spoke with Jeff Cox at the Illinois Department of Agriculture, Bureau Chief of Medicinal Plants, and the license applications just keep coming in, including, as of yesterday morning, 137 processing applications throughout the state.
We have to register anybody that processes hemp, and so this might be somebody that wants to buy some hemp flour and grind it up and put it into soap or something like that, to sell at the farmer's market. But it could also be a giant conglomerate company that wants to make building products or wants to make insulation or hemp lumber or something like that. So it's a very broad stroke across there as far as who has to register as a processor.
Jeff Cox at the Department of Agriculture, who says just in the first 48 hours of the application being made available, they received more than 350 applications, and you can find out more through the Department of Agriculture's website. Rita's up next on RFD, Illinois.
Attention corn farmers. Your corn checkoff dollars are working with the U.S. Meat Export Federation to grow red meat export volumes. Because when we're exporting beef, we're also exporting corn. The beef industry consumes 28% of all corn fed to livestock, plus additional corn in the form of DDGs, a co-product of ethanol production. Now that's what we call working an angle. Your checkoff is working corn from all angles. Because of the Illinois Corn Marketing Board, your profitability is our bottom line. A message from the Illinois Corn Checkoff.
Are you preparing for planting season? We don't mean to be a pest, but here's a few things you need to know before you grow. The Illinois Department of Agriculture now requires special local needs labels, including new restrictions for the use of herbicide dicamba on top of soybeans in Illinois for the 2019 growing season. Did you know these additional restrictions go beyond federally approved labels? Remember, the label is the law. To find out more about these Illinois-specific labels, visit ilfb.org/label-aware.
Nicely done, beef. From London broils and French dips to New York strips and Texas briskets. Who knew you were so well-traveled? Yeah, you're what's for dinner. And it's always dinner somewhere. Bring everyone back to the table and get cooking at beef. It's what's for dinner.com. funded by beef farmers and ranchers.
We're back here on RFD, Illinois. I'm Rita Frazier. More on the River Watch. Things look a little better than expected in Madison County. For a report from WBGZ Alton, we'll join Doug Jenkins.
The crest has come, so now businesses are just waiting for the Mississippi River level to fall in Grafton and Alton. The impact of the flood appears to be worse in Grafton, with the main way in through the Great River Road closed down and a number of businesses on the river side of Main Street evacuated. Grafton Mayor Rick Eberlin says the spring flooding has really hurt their town.
The loading dock's been closed now for upwards of a week. Plus, that's one of our biggest tax producers. And then, we've had so many of the overnight stays that have, canceled. And you can't blame them for, doing so. And it's kind of a eerie, quiet, over the weekend, resembling a ghost town.
The National Weather Service, though, has issued a new forecast for area rivers. And for Alton and Grafton, there appears to be some good news. With lower rainfall totals expected in the Mississippi River Basin this week, the secondary crest that was being talked about earlier this week does not appear to be as pronounced as previously thought. At Grafton, a modest drop-off should continue until the river falls back into moderate flooding at 29 feet a week from Friday. At Alton, the river is back into the moderate flooding stage at 34 feet now and should only see a modest rise next week before dropping into minor flooding around May 17th. Meteorologist Mark Fuchs with the National Weather Service says that's good news.
Extended period of drier weather should persist for at least a week beyond Thursday, and that's going to allow both the Missouri and the Mississippi to fall and get rid of a lot of the water that is currently plaguing many areas along the Mississippi.
It's not such good news in Hardin, however. The Illinois River is expected to remain just below 38 feet for another week or so, continuing to put pressure on the Nutwood Levee, which protects Route 16, the only way in and out of southern Calhoun County. For the RFD Radio Network, this is Doug Jenkins at WBGZ Radio in Alton.
Thanks, Doug. Jane Brandenburg is the Farm Bureau Manager in Calhoun County. We talked with Jane yesterday. On this 8th day of May, Jane, you are really following many situations closely. Tell us a little bit more about what you are looking at today.
Today we're watching the weather, rain forecast, rain above us, north of us. It will affect the Illinois River we have on the east side of the county, the Mississippi on the west side of the county. We are closely watching the Nutwood Levee that is actually in Jersey County, but it will affect, if it should overtop, will affect our transportation out of here, the Joe Page Bridge. In 93, when the Nutwood Levee overtopped, we were without the Joe Page Bridge from July 18th into November, so we are closely watching it.
What about mentioning transportation, IDOT, road closures, Brussels Ferry? What's the transportation like today?
Don't be in too big of a rush, because to get to Hardin, if you live on the north or the south end of the county, it is a long drive on very narrow, winding roads. The commute takes a long time, and those for the ones that are traveling by car. We have many workers that are traveling by John boat, tying up here in the county and jumping into their vehicles and then driving to work. We have 3 ferries in the county, 2 state-owned, 1 family-owned. Brussels Ferry is out. The Winfield/Golden Eagle Ferry is out. We still have the Kempsville Ferry running for a limited time, again, depending on the raise of the river.
I've talked to a lot of your Farm Bureau partners up and down the river, and it seems like, folks are in for the long haul. I heard one guy say, you can't move a farm. So what about farmland involved in this situation? And, have there been a lot of evacuations already with anything that's in the river bottoms?
The river bottoms, a lot of landowners have remove their equipment.
You mentioned earlier efforts and reaching out for help. You mentioned 2 high schools involved, so Jerseyville and Calhoun.
Yes, actually we had 3 high schools.
Oh, okay.
Calhoun has 2 high schools. We have the Brussels in the south end of the county, and we have the Calhoun High School that's in Hardin. Those 2 high schools have helped sandbag in the county, and it's not just during school time. They have showed up, these students, in the evenings, stayed late, They have been helping on the weekends, but they have been helping sandbag the Nutwood levee. And then Jersey Community High School came and helped at the Nutwood levee.
What would you like the rest of the state to know really about where you guys are?
We're blessed to have a community and friends that we do that come and help, and something we have that we did not have in 93, and that's Facebook, and it's easier now to get help for sandbagging. Folks just show up with their John boats to help load sandbags and take them to a flooded area. Our roads are not made for tourists. I hate to say that at this time, until the floodwaters come down, and then we would love to have you visit our county. But the roads are extremely dangerous to add extra travel.
Are you a lifelong resident, Jane?
Yes. I was born and raised here. Actually, my house right now is in Pike County, but our family farm that I was raised on is the oldest continuously owned farm in Calhoun. And my family purchased it in 1814.
What's the easiest way to touch base with you?
We do have a Facebook page, and we have had a lot of followers. Again, we try to post as many photos as we can of the flood water, so folks don't need to, they can see the photos instead of traveling into the county.
Jane Brandenburg, Manager, Calhoun County Farm Bureau. With that, we'll break for markets and weather.
With the RFD Ag Market Summary for this Thursday morning, I'm Jim Taylor. Corn slightly lower, beans lower, and wheat ending Wednesday steady. May corn closing at $3.55 1/4, down 2 3/4. July corn down 2 1/4, $3.64 1/4, and September corn down 1 3/4, $3.72 1/4. May beans closing at $8.14 1/4, down 3 1/2. July beans down 3 1/2, $8.27 1/4. August beans $8.33 1/2, down 3 1/2. May wheat closing at $4.31 1/4, up 3/4. July wheat down 1/2, $4.39. September wheat $4.47 1/2, down 1/2. May bean meal $2.88.70. That's up 30 cents. May bean oil down a dime, $26.71. And current electronic overnight trading: July corn down 3 1/4. September corn down 3 1/2. December corn down 3 1/2. $3.78 3/4. May beans in the overnight down 6. July beans down 4 1/4. August beans down 4. $8.29 1/2. July wheat in the overnight down 5 1/4. September wheat down 5 1/2. December wheat $4.56 1/2. Down 4 3/4. In the outside markets, July Brent crude oil $70.37, up 49 cents a barrel. The June gold contract up $3.90 this morning, $12.85.30. In the livestock market from Wednesday, May lean hogs $83.57, up 52 cents. June lean hogs down 70 cents. $88.55. June live cattle $111.07, down 120. August live cattle down 167, 107.40. May feeders $135.77, down 152. August feeder cattle down 172, 143.87. Cash livestock at Greenville Livestock Auction this week: steers $131 the top. Illinois direct barrels and gilts trading steady on Wednesday at 51 to 57. And I'm Jim Taylor for the RFD Radio Network.
Good morning, this is Dan Hicks from Freeze Notice Weather with the early morning update on the RFD Radio Network on this Thursday morning. Warmer air pushed northward across a large part of the central and eastern Midwest yesterday with highs in the 70s and 80s. It was cooler from northern Illinois northward and westward. A system that has been nearly stationary over the plains the last few days began to move eastward the past 24 hours, with showers and thunderstorms spreading eastward across more of the Midwest during the past 24 hours, and a few reports of some strong to severe thunderstorms later yesterday and last night. This weather system will continue to affect the weather across Illinois today, with some additional showers and thunderstorms over the state. Best rain chances will gradually work their way farther east, though, later today and tonight, with drier weather across most of Illinois during the day Friday. Cooler Canadian air moving in behind this system will cool temperatures somewhat today through Friday, with some warmer readings again returning over the weekend. The next weather system to affect Illinois will arrive over the weekend, with some scattered showers expected Saturday night and Sunday. Most of the rainfall from this system will be fairly light, generally a 1/4 inch or less, although a few heavier amounts could occur along the Ohio River. The overall weather pattern looking ahead into next week and the 6 to 10 day time frame should also feature lighter precipitation across the Midwest. It won't be totally dry during this time, but many areas will have below normal precipitation amounts next week into the 6 to 10 day time frame. Additional Canadian air moving south into the Midwest will bring a near to below normal temperature pattern for the 6 to 10 day period across much of the Midwest. Beyond that point, it does look like it will start to get wetter again during the 11 to 15 day time frame, especially from the central Midwest westward, with near to above normal 11 to 15 day rainfall. Once again, this is Dan Hicks from Freeze Notice Weather.
Spring is here and things are buzzing. Farmers and pollinators are working together to help feed us. In fact, 1 out of every 3 bites of food we eat exists because of bees, butterflies, birds, bats, and other insects. Pollinators are important to our food system and the ecosystem overall. That's why farmers and those in the agricultural industry are working together to protect pollinators through education, research, and conservation efforts. Visit ilagformonarchs.org to join the buzz. That's ilagformonarchs.org.
From midnight snacks to holiday gatherings, food is a part of our culture that brings us together every day. To make sure we all have food on our tables, Illinois farmers are going beyond planting crops and raising animals. We're making sure the wildlife that helps our food grow has homes too. To learn more about conservation efforts, visit ilfarmersconserve.com. Preserving our water, protecting our land, providing our food.
This message brought to you by Illinois Farm Bureau.
All ag.
All Illinois.
All now.
There are a lot of smartphone apps out there, but do they have what's important to us here in Illinois? The Farm Week Now app does, and it's always at your fingertips. All ag, all Illinois, and 24/7 where and when you need it for free. Go to your app or Play Store on your smartphone, hit search, type in Farm Week Now, that's one word, and download it today. Brought to you by Illinois Farm Bureau, where we're all about farm, family, and food.
When it comes to our members, Chris Magnuson connects rural routes for you. Chris leads Illinois Farm Bureau's efforts to provide valuable information to our members. He has spent 2 decades with IFB. Here's a bit about his rural roots.
I grew up on a farm with corn, soybeans, and Christmas trees. I've been in ag communication for 3 decades now. My greatest satisfaction has always remained the same, to serve our members.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
That is all the time we have for this edition of RFD Illinois. Thanks for spending some time with us today.
That's right. We salute a community. You were talking to folks in Calhoun County. There's a community called Brussels, a village, 141 population,
where you can play I Do'd It in the summer at their Catholic picnic. I'm going to say St. Mary's. It's not St. Mary's, but their Catholic picnic in the summer.
You play I Do'd It.
I Do'd It.
All right. Sponsored by Country Financial. Your farm is your family's legacy and part of your hometown heritage. While you work sun up to sundown to get the job done, we're here protecting the things you love.